did you do?
say their names.
Well, no, what did you do?
Okay. I was sexually talking to 13-year-olds named Maya and...
Of course. Hey, I love you, Sophia. Oh, you like it, baby? Well, you're about to see it more often, baby. I love you.
If you've been keeping an eye on recent TikTok headlines, you may have noticed a disturbing trend where more and more adults on the platform are being exposed for inappropriate relationships with minors. This issue of online safety for children continues to escalate, and yet again, another predator has come to light. This time, his name is Kipp Coleman. A seemingly harmless smile masking something far more sinister. Kipp Coleman was the kind of guy most people brushed off as cringe, while a few found him oddly charming. But beneath that quirky grin lurked a predator, one who used TikTok as his personal hunting ground, targeting kids as young as 12 and 13.
Rain is actually 20. She claims that she's 15.
Kipp is quite a strange character, given that he's not exactly famous in the broad sense of things. Some of his most viewed content revolve around subtle jokes and jabs taken at him by other content creators. But somehow he's unable to tell apart real fanning from people straight up clowning him. And as a result, he got this strange aura and a super inflated ego, believing that he's hot or even remotely attractive, which is just not the case, as we can see.
This is for a fan of mine named Maddie, so let's do this. Yep.
This is what happens when you fail to distinguish between people who genuinely enjoy your content and those who are simply egging you on for their own amusement. When a creator can't tell the difference between real supporters and an audience that's just there to watch them clown for entertainment, they become trapped, constantly catering to the wrong crowd. This cycle only reinforces their behavior, pushing them to create content that meets the expectations of those who see them as nothing more than a spectacle. And that's exactly what happened to Kipp. He started chasing trends, leaning into self-deprecating humor, and performing outlandish acts to keep his trolling audience engaged without realizing how far he was spiraling.
I could take myself dancing. You can. I like purple. So I pushed back. Oh, and I left on red.
Get it? Because blue and red equals purple. So I blew her back out and I left her on red. Don't let that go.
If you spent enough time on his profile, you'd quickly notice that Kipp Coleman had a deep love for music, and even harbored dreams of becoming a big-time rapper. I say had because ever since he resurfaced, those aspirations seem to have faded into the background. He is also a big Eminem fan, which is ironic for a white boy with rap aspirations. However, his passion for music hasn't disappeared. Kipp has been actively engaging with other TikTokers, frequently duetting their videos and singing along, still clinging to the one thing that once gave him a sense of identity.
Oh, it's beautiful. Say, this class. You're the devil's. I had your father. He owed me $20. We gon' run through hell with like 20 shoppers. We gon' give him hell when I put that on my mom. Yeah. Me and Trippy Red, blue and black in the boss.
After consistently posting and interacting on TikTok, Kipp Coleman managed to build a decent following for himself, even though his content never really evolved. He remained the focal point of his own act, carving out a recognizable trademark move that set him apart, the chain grab. This bizarre stunt involved leading into his phone's front-facing camera, letting his chain dangle from his neck, then biting down on it while making exaggerated, almost dog-like expressions. It was odd, unsettling, and yet somehow it became his signature move, one that kept his audience watching, whether out of amusement or secondhand embarrassment.
Maddie, so let's do this. Yep.
Shockingly, he was able to even get people to join in on this chain-biting trend. It was wacky, it was wild, and somehow it worked. Lots of people tuned in. They knew he was a nutcase, but they accepted him as their nutcase.
First, you want to get your chain, put it on, dangle it like this, you know? What you want to do is grab your tongue. Well, not grab it, but like, get your tongue. And then you're gonna grab your chain with your tongue, like this, or then right into it. So, yeah.
His numbers were climbing, fans were cheering, and the likes kept rolling in. For months, Kip thrived, doubling down on his signature move, chain-biting bliss wrapped in a layer of chaos. He ruled over a kingdom of giddy admirers and smirking skeptics, all feeding into his growing ego. If only Kip had stayed in his lane, focused on the content that was working for him, maybe we'd be making a very different video today. Maybe we'd be talking about his rise to viral fame, his influence, or even his music career. But that wasn't Kip's style. He bought into the fake hype, convincing himself he was irresistible, and let the attention warp his sense of reality. By mid-2023, Kip wasn't just another bizarre TikTok personality anymore. He was a menace. A menace caught sexting minors on camera. TikTok didn't just boost him, it unleashed him.
Now, Kippy here really was into this whole throuple thing. Apparently, one of the girls that he was in this throuple with...
Being a goof online isn't a crime. Post your heart out, right? But when that goofiness twists into obsession, harassment, and the targeting of minors, it's no longer just a misstep, it's a blaring siren. Kipp Coleman's story begins with one unusual spark. Back in 2021, a chain, a chomp, a wink. It was harmless at first, just another odd TikTok trend that gained traction. Fast forward to 2023, and Kip, now 19 years old, wasn't just a TikTok rapper wannabe anymore. He was entangled in a messy throuple situation, and worse, facing allegations that were far more than just concerning. It started with Rain, who was 15, not 20 like he swore, blew the whistle. He knew her age, kept pushing.
Rain is actually 20. She claims that she's 15.
No, I don't even look 20. Kip, I'm sorry it had to go down this way with me exposing you with a video because apparently my words in DMs were not enough. But yes, I am 15 years old. I was born in February 24th, 2008.
There was also Maya and Ella, who were 13-year-old girls. And there are leaked sexual chats he owned up to on a live call, unfiltered, with his catchphrase, "Oh, you like it, baby," still echoing in every clip.
Oh, you like it, baby? Well, you're about to see it more often, baby. I love you.
So where did it all go wrong for Kippy? The first crack shows when he posted a video of him doing his signature move for a special fan that was tagged in the video, giving her some kind of shout-out. After checking the account that was tagged by Kip in the video, in one of her videos there are strange comments in the comments section, which are kind of subtle, but very pointed. One user drops a casual comment, "Bro is dangling his chain for you." The reply, "He won't leave me alone." At first glance, it's easy to brush off as just Kippy being Kippy, right? But here's where things take a dark turn. Fans start noticing that Kip isn't just goofing around anymore. His comments and DMs aren't just playful, they're persistent, pushy, and borderline obsessive. He keeps showing up in her mentions, her posts, her space. And then the real revelation drops. She's one of the girls in Kip's alleged throuple. Now, for those unfamiliar, a throuple is basically a three-person romantic relationship. Strange? Sure. But at the time, no one thought much of it. Most assumed it was just another messy relationship dispute, the kind that plays out online all the time. Then the comment thread continues, and suddenly things aren't looking so harmless anymore. The account owner claims that Kip sent her something much worse on Instagram. She describes feeling traumatized. And when pressed for details, she drops the bombshell that he sent an explicit photo of his privates. Ugh, that's something else entirely. And suddenly Kipp Coleman isn't just a goofy internet personality anymore. He's someone worth being very, very concerned about. Now things have suddenly gotten sticky for our man Kip. Sending out unsolicited pictures to a fan, explicit ones at that, has crossed the ethical line, even crossed silly, and has now entered creep territory. Still, in the comments thread, the account owner confirms that she is, in fact, a minor. Now that is just scary and disgusting behavior from Kip. But you can assume that he probably didn't know her actual age. But that is not an excuse that the law would listen to. Remember that Kip also claims to be in a relationship with this underage girl, claiming that they are both members, with 2 or 3 other girls of a throuple. While that drama was still unfolding, steps in Rain, a 15-year-old girl, unfortunately caught in Kip's nasty web, and they are sick of the nuisance he caused in their life. So they came together to create an account on TikTok and Instagram as well. As of today, the Instagram account has had all the posts taken down for reasons not privy to the public. And the only video on the TikTok account that makes any sense in the direction of the story is one from Rain, the 15-year-old girl.
Oh, okay. So, I'm not 15, I'm actually 20, you guys. Sorry, you guys had to find out like this, but, I'm legally old enough to drive a car, I'm legally old enough to buy a house, I'm legally old enough to drink. No. No, I don't even look 20. Kip, I'm sorry it had to go down this way with me exposing you with a video because apparently my words in DMs were not enough. But yes, I am 15 years old. I was born in February 24th, 2008.
She makes a video to clear up the confusion on TikTok about her actual age. The confusion that started when Kip posted a video to deny Rain's claim of being 15 years old. She started the video sarcastically by accepting Kip's claim, mentioning all the things she was now able to do. Being able to drive, drink alcohol, vote during elections, all sorts. She then gives her exact date of birth, February 24th, 2008. That means she must have actually been 15 years old in 2023 when all this was going down, while Kippy would have been 19. She also lets us in to learn that she has told this to Kip in DM chats multiple times, but he insisted that she was lying, which might lead one to think that our dear Kip was her birth mother, or maybe he was at least there when it happened. For him to know that she was actually 20. But we know that none of that is true. I guess Kippy is being delusional again.
Rain is actually 20. She claims that she's 15.
Still in the video, Rain keeps raining it hard on Kippy, taking shots at his rap career that is yet to take off, saying that it's probably not going to work out now since he is already a proven perv. Rain adds that she knows that he has not been talking and harassing just her. She says there is also a 14-year-old girl, a 13-year-old, and the youngest one is 12 years of age. What a shame. After she dropped that bombshell, she finally makes a plea to authorities to see to the matter.
Which is probably weird for you because you were born, I don't even know, 2003. So, yeah, I'm sorry this had to go down this way, and, your little career of being a rapper is not going to work out now because you're a full-blown. Because not only am I the only girl who you've harassed who's underage, you've also harassed 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds, and I think another 12-year-old. So, no, sir, no. See, that is where.
That has to be something. But even after watching Rain's video, some people in the audience were still insistent that proof of the alleged crimes be produced, and rightly so, as we've seen a number of occasions where a male character is wrongly accused of intimate crimes and he turns out to be innocent. So everything remained an alleged crime against Kip, until the authorities got hold of Kip's leaked conversations with 13-year-old girls.
What did you do?
Say their names.
Well, no, what did you do?
Okay. I was sexually talking to 13-year-olds named Maya and...
While one half of Kip's fanbase tried so hard to discredit Rain's story about Kippy, sufficient evidence of his disgusting and creepy actions surfaced online as they're leaked. Although we couldn't get hold of the actual evidence that leaked because of the minors involved, in a bid to keep them protected and their identities secured, we could get hold of Kippy's interview with a certain host named Bella. In the interview, Kip admits to having NSFW types of relationships with 2 13-year-old girls, Maya and Ella.
To include and say in the video.
I am going to admit what I did.
Well, what did you do?
Say their names.
Well, no, what did you do?
Okay. I was sexually talking to 13-year-olds named Maya and Ella.
And they are 13, and you knew that they were 13 beforehand.
And
you knew that they were 13 beforehand.
I knew it beforehand.
Turns out the whole talk of him being in a throuple with 3 other girls were all lies. He was just harassing these girls and traumatizing them with unsolicited pictures of his dong. I can only imagine what these girls might have gone through and the things that they have now been exposed to at such a young age. Terrible, terrible things. Ever since this incident took place, we've had different versions of Kippy. He was at first very silent. He deleted all of his social media posts on TikTok and Instagram. Then much later, he came back to TikTok. No apology, no attempt to make up for his wrongdoings, no nothing. Just back to regular old. We can only hope that the girls were able to recover from this. We now know that content creators on platforms like TikTok have a lot of power and influence over children. And this influence can be used to manipulate them or trick them and put them in danger. It's really important to have things in place to keep kids safe from these kinds of people. This includes checking the backgrounds of content creators, having age limits on some content, and keeping a closer eye on what's happening online to find and report any suspicious activity. Children should never be harassed because they want to watch a video or two on TikTok.